Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor, and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and join the conversation on Instagram at Candy Washington. Let's go!
Hello everyone and welcome back. As always, I am your girl, Candy Washington, and we are going to have a fun kiki about all things reality TV and pop culture. And today we are going to be talking about the latest episode of Married to Medicine. Dun 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 dun. We are going to get into it. But before we dive in, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share with a friend, because a kiki is always better with community. That's right. So go ahead and like, subscribe, and share so we can get into it. So let's do that. Let's dive right in. So let's start with the meat of the episode, what we all really want to talk about. Heavenly versus Dr. Contessa. So if this is your first time with us, you will quickly learn that I am not a Dr. Heavenly fan at all. I actually think she's just evil. There's an evilness to Dr. Heavenly. And we see it every episode. We see it on her YouTube channel. We see it all the time. Hey, Darren Hood, what's up? That's right, you guys. As you come in, say hello, drop your candy canes, get your beverage on, and just sit back and relax. This is going to be a fun kiki. Hey, Darren Sweetheart, how are you? What's up? Yay! Yes, my candy canes. All right. So we all know that I think Dr. Heavenly is straight up evil. Hey, Sharon, what's up? She says, hey, with the candy canes. How are you, sweetheart? Love you, love you, love you, love you lots. Yay! Okay. Heavenly is evil. And I want to give you guys an assignment. I'm going to give you an assignment. So next episode, we saw a clip. We saw a clip of it where it's Dr. Heavenly, it's Contessa, and it's Quad. And they're having another, come to Jesus moment. And Dr. Heavenly is fake crying, oh, I want to help. I'm so, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know the YouTube was her BS. Fake crocodile tears. Okay. Now, you guys know me. I always watch what they say, and I watch what they do very closely. This is my assignment, guys. Watch that scene when Quad is genuinely crying and is genuinely hurt, and she's Heavenly, you gotta really start to think about how what you say affects other people. Heavenly gives this fake cry, and then she gives this really evil look, almost like she's laughing at the situation, and it's the thing that she does with her eyes. And I want you guys to watch it, because when you watch that and you see that, that gave me chills down my spine. I was like, okay, so I'm right. She is a sociopath. She is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She's really legit evil. So that's the assignment, Candy Canes. Because when you see her give that look, then you know everything she says, everything she does has been fraudulent, fake, and phony, and she does not care about hurting anybody else. She doesn't. Her whole blow up today proved that. Hey guys, Darren Hood said, luckily I rewatched all the episodes. Dr. Heavenly is something else, right? She's evil. I like Dr. Heavenly. She's messy but funny as heck. She makes the show. Yeah, but I still think, I don't know. There's to me, there's someone who is messy and funny and sometimes are a little bit below the belt. But there's just an evilness in Dr. Heavenly that I just don't like. She irks my spirit. So let's get into it, right? So let's get into the meat of the episode, which was Dr. Heavenly versus Contessa. And then we can talk about the other fun stuff. I love sexy Dr. Jackie. I love Toya being unbothered with the bacon. There were some cute moments, but let's get into the meat of that scene. So the reason why I think, and I think they actually really hit on this on the show, the reason why I think Dr. Heavenly went so buck wild at the breakfast, kind of out of left field and really for no good reason. Oh, wait, you guys, I gotta turn this off. It's okay. And really for no good reason is because I think she's trying to deflect. I think that she's worried that one of the girls or Contessa is going to say something about Dr. Damon Daddy, who we all know allegedly has his side piece mistress girlfriend who works with him at his office, and he is allegedly ready to bounce the moment Alora goes to college, all of which I personally think is true. But again, this is just a rumor, alleged. And I think that she is so fearful. She is so fearful of anything about her marriage, anything about her husband coming out, that she just jumped. She just went, rawr, you know what I mean? She just went over the board and popped off to deflect and diffuse from anyone else having the chance to say something about her marriage. So I think the over the topness was all a ploy. It was all one big deflection. It was all one big look at the fire over here so you don't see the bomb being dropped over here. You know what I mean? So I think that's why she was blowing up as much as she was. And I think Dr. Heavenly told on herself, like she said, she says, I don't have with you. I don't care how you feel, whatever. You're not even mad at me. You're mad at your husband. Everything Dr. Heavenly said when she was mad is actually how she truly feels. I don't think Dr. Heavenly has the capacity to be a friend and to have actual friendships, because in her root core, she's just a jealous person. Even with her BFF, Dr. Jackie. How is she trying to throw Dr. Jackie under the bus, being like, oh, we don't want to see Dr. Jackie's body. Oh, what is this? What does she call it? Something like Dr. Jackie, the P word, because I don't want to get like doctor or anything over here. You know, even being shady with that. So like, I just think Dr. Heavenly doesn't have the capacity to be a good friend. Now, when it comes to Dr. Contessa, did y'all catch after the whole fight? She goes, I know her secrets and I haven't said anything and I never would. That right there proves the fact that Dr. Heavenly is going so crazy and so off the deep end because she knows that Dr. Contessa has some dirt on her. And she probably knows the other ladies have heard some stuff and have some dirt on her and Dr. Damon too. And that's why she goes off so much to deflect before anybody else can say anything about her marriage. That's how I feel about them. Let's see some other stuff. And put your comments in the chat box. We can chat it up, you guys. I like sexy Dr. Jackie. Like, I am here for this Dr. Jackie. She's sexy. She has a sex toy. She has the lingerie. She has the whips and the chains. I am so here for it. Do I think she's using that on her husband? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. I just don't get. And again, this is just a fun kiki. This is a fun kiki. I'm not saying this is true. This is just conjecture, guys. Not for you guys, but I don't want anybody coming after me from Bravo or from the cast. This is just conjecture. But I don't get sexy time vibes from Dr. Jackie and her husband. Like, they don't even touch. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that they're like getting it in. Hey, Sharon, Dr. Simone started all the mess. Everybody does talk about everyone else behind their back. True. So I agree with you. Dr. Simone definitely started it and she kicked it off, but I think that she told no lies. But I think the difference is, there are a couple of things that Dr. Heavenly says that I just think are wrong and hypocritical. So one, right? Yes, everybody talks about everybody else behind their back, sure. But there's a difference between when you're doing the kiki, you're doing the tea, you're doing the shade, and it's for the show, it's on the show, or it's whatever, you know what I mean, in service of the show. But it's a whole nother thing when it's your friend that you're confiding in, and it's her YouTube channel. There's a difference. There's a difference. And like Toya said when she was on Watch What Happened Live, she's like, Dr. Heavenly is getting paid by YouTube for her channel. So basically, Dr. Heavenly is going on YouTube, talking crap, throwing everybody under their bus, being malicious, being crazy for clicks and views and for money. And to me, that is a difference. To me, there is a difference between, of course, you're on like the Housewives, you're on Married to Medicine, you're on, all of these like, housewife-esque shows. Of course, you talk back, there's gossip and this and that. Of course there is. Like, that's part of the machine. But to have someone who you mistakenly considered your friend, which Dr. Contessa did, go online, go on YouTube and completely body you and slaughter you and tell your secrets, and not even just your secrets, but I also agree with Toya said, I Watch What Happens Live. There is a difference between when I talk about my family, or I talk about my relationship, or I talk about my kids, or I talk about my mom, or I talk about whatever, versus when someone who is looking me in my face and telling me that they're my friend, then going behind my back privately and publicly on their YouTube channel and blowing up my whole spot and blowing up everything. There is a difference. There is a difference. You know what I mean? And I also hate it when Dr. Heavenly says, "You're mad at your husband. You're not mad at me. You're projecting your anger." Nice try, Dr. Heavenly. Last time I checked, you were a dentist, not a psychologist. And that's a rich coming from me because I love dissecting their psychology, and I'm definitely not a psychologist. So not to be a hypocrite myself, but you see what I'm saying. I don't think but I think that is a very like it's a cozy way to try and get herself out of accountability, where I don't think that actually applies. Do I think people sometimes project their own anger onto other people? 100%. That's why it's called projection. Do I think it's happening in this case? No. Because I think both things can be true. You could be upset with your spouse, you could be upset with your husband, you can reconcile and work through things. And you can also be pissed off at your friend who completely played you, who clowned you on their YouTube channel, who clowned you to other people, and who completely took your confidences and betrayed them for clicks and views. You know what I mean? There's a difference. Both things can be true. I could have been upset with my husband. We could have reconciled, and I'm still pissed at my friend who played me. So for Dr. Heavenly to be like, "No, you're mad at your husband. You're taking it out on me." No, Dr. Heavenly, we're mad at you. But Dr. Heavenly, again, not to be a hypocrite because I'm not a therapist, has a lot of narcissistic tendencies. One is never genuinely apologizing. Another one is thinking that the rules don't apply to them. Another one is an inability to have empathy. Another one is you never take accountability or responsibility for yourself and how you treat other people. That's Dr. Heavenly to a T. To a T. And remember, Candy Canes, I gave you your assignment. During the scene for next episode, watch her eyes when she's fake crying, and right after when Quad says, "You know, Heavenly, you got to really watch out with what you say and how it affects people." Watch her eyes. And we're going to come back and we're going to report and we're going to have a kiki on it because that's why I think she's evil. So watch her eyes. Hey, Darren. Toya has a point on that. Exactly. Luckily, Candy isn't that type of person, unlike Heavenly. That's why I respect Candy more. I respect Candy so much. I have the utmost respect. Hey, Sunny T. She goes, "I like Heavenly for the show, but she's no one's friend." Exactly. Yes, she's good for the show. She's drama. That's also what Sharon said. You know, she likes her, but she's messy, but she's nobody's friend. She's nobody's friend. And quiet as it's kept, she's probably not to be nobody's wife anymore either. That's why she doesn't want to talk about her own marriage, because she's so. I think that people who are the most afraid to talk about their marriages are the people who are in the worst trouble. You know what I mean? They're in the worst trouble. And then do you guys also notice that Dr. Heavenly always, and I mean 99% of the time, cuts Dr. Damon off while he's trying to speak? Like even in the confessionals, they'll ask him a question, he'll start to answer it, and she'll cut in. She'll be like, "BS, da-da-da, no you didn't, and he'll just be like poor Dr. Damon Daddy. I want to start the hashtag free Dr. Damon Daddy. Like, let's free him. You know what I'm saying? She cuts him off all the time. She doesn't let him speak. And honestly, for as much as she says, you know, you got to hold your man up. You got to hold your man up. You got to, you know, women are submissive and men are the number one in the household. As much as Heavenly preaches that, do you guys catch it's actually the opposite? She emasculates Dr. Damon Daddy all of the time. Cutting him off when he's talking, never letting him finish a sentence, stepping in front of him when he was, remember at the episode with the fashion show, she literally like stood right in front of him, always yelling, always doing the absolute most. The truth is she emasculates him all of the time. All of the time. So I don't know what she's talking about by like be submissive and, you know, stand by your man when she emasculates him, which is why word on the street is he has a little side piece and he's about to bounce the moment, you know, Alora is able to go to college and be out of the house. And I believe that. Again, alleged, but I believe it. Okay, so let's see what else happened this episode. I don't even like to talk about them because they are so boring to me. But Anila and Karen, like, first of all, Anila, why did you run up after Dr. Heavenly with Audra? See, that's why I show you right there. Anila is a mess because Anila made friends literally with Toya's two enemies at the time. Toya and Contessa are fine now. And then she came on the show through Toya. I think Anila is so boring. I don't know really what she gives to the show. I would be totally fine if this was her last episode. She's just really boring to me. And Kieran, when he was cooking for the kids, not to talk about kids, I don't mean the kids, I mean the scene, but the scene was boring as hell. And he bothers me with his bug eyes and his weird stuff. And he was like, oh, I'm so smart. You know, I made a project out of making dinner for the kids. And I was like, you mean cooking? It's called cooking, Karen. It's not called a project. It's called cooking. Good job, Dad. Like, Anila and Kieran, I can't with them. They can miss me with all this. What are you guys thinking about Audra? She's rubbing me all the wrong way. Like, she's coming on way too strong. She's literally just there to windmill for Dr. Heavenly. She doesn't really have that much of a personality because to me, just, you know, being forceful and interjecting yourself into different things doesn't give you a personality. It just makes you annoying. So, exactly, Sharon. Yes, Anila was Toya's friend before they fell out. Exactly. And Toya was the one who got Anila on the show. And then once Anila was on the show, she got all brand new. She started cozying up to Contessa, who at that time was not messing with Toya. Toya and Contessa were at odds. They're much better now, but at that time. And then she started cozying up to Dr. Heavenly. Like, she wanted to be a part of, like, the cool girls clique. And I'm like, Anila, why are you, like, I'm not, like, childish or petty. Like, of course, you can be friends with somebody that your friends may not be friends with. But to go out of your way to befriend them while they are in an active beef, you showed me all your true colors. You showed me all of your true colors with that. So I would never trust Anila. And I don't like her out of that because I do believe in loyalty. Say you and your friend fall out. Okay, fine, you have a falling out. Even if you do become friends with somebody they don't rock with, you then don't have to go out of your way to be mean and to belittle and to make fun of. Like, everything that Anila says in her confessionals is a dig at Toya. And I'm like, Anila, do you want to be Toya? Like, why is her name in your mouth all of the time? Like, when she said in the confessional, oh, Audra, you'll learn. Toya just says things out of her mouth. And I'm just like, coming from the woman whose head is up Dr. Heavenly's butt, and Dr. Heavenly is the one who everything just comes out of her mouth, this, that, and the third. Like, miss me with all this, Anila. And I wouldn't be surprised. I don't have any proof. So, you know, guys, this is a fun kiki. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dr. Heavenly put Anila up to the whole movers costume. Because that's something down low and evil and dirty that I would see Dr. Heavenly doing. And I wouldn't be surprised if she put that bug in Anila's ear. And I don't care what anybody says. It wasn't funny. It wasn't funny. It was mean. It was mean-spirited and it was malicious. And I want everyone, I'm not talking about you guys because my candy canes know what's up. And I want everyone to stop coming at Eugene for being upset. Damn right he was upset. Damn right he was upset. Two people come, a husband and a wife duo come, and they're dressed up as movers to poke fun at you and your family situation. Like, to be perfectly honest, sure, maybe they've had financial things go awry. Maybe, maybe not. They said they had their own reasons for moving. So who knows? Who knows, right? Whatever. Whether they actually had their own reasons or whether actually it was something financial, they're still a family. They still have children. They're still a family. And I think when you are in that position where your family is being uprooted and there's no stability and you're moving and there's chaos, what you want from your friends isn't people to laugh at you or to make fun of you or to call or to put you down, but they want you to have they want support. They want their friends to support them. And if you don't want to support me, then be neutral. Say nothing. Miss it. Don't worry about it. But to have the whole movers costume, that to me was some dirty, low down, in the gutter trash thing to do to someone. Point blank, period. I don't care why they're moving every 6 months or every year. I don't care what the reason is. I don't care because you know what? A lot of people are, and I'm not saying this is Toya and Eugene because we only speculate why they move. We don't really know why they move, right? But not everyone. I'm not saying this is true about them, but there's a lot of people who financially misstep or financially over embark, or they got a mortgage at this rate, and then with everything going on in the world today, sometimes people get you in this mortgage rate, and then all of a sudden it's jacked up 10, 20, 50% out of what you thought you were going to be paying for the next XYZ years. You never know. And I never want, I know I'm on a tangent, guys, but roll with me. Roll with me. But like, I'm just never one to ever make fun of someone who's when they're down in that type of way, when they're in a low position in life. And by low position in life, I don't mean like poor or anything like that. I just mean like when you're down on your luck, when you're doing whatever, right? Anyway, let's get off on that tangent, guys. But you see what I'm saying. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat box. Hey, Darren, I don't like Audra. She's starting to like Heavenly Jr. Thank you. Audra to me was a poor casting. She has zero chemistry with the rest of the girls. She doesn't make sense in the group, if that makes sense. She's a lawyer, right? Is she married to a doctor? Maybe she's married to a doctor, but if she is, where is he? We haven't talked about him unless she's just a random friend of, so Heavenly had someone to talk to. But I don't like Audra. I don't like her. I don't like her attitude. I don't like her energy. I don't like the fact that she's like random and is inserting herself in every conversation like she has the right to talk and like she has the right to be there. So I don't get it. Hey, Sunny T, but when did Toya, Contessa, and Simone become friends? I don't know. You know what it is? I think it's when the enemy of the friend. What's that saying? It's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Because if you look at it, Toya, Contessa, and Simone, all three of them do not F with Heavenly anymore. Heavenly has systematically betrayed and turned on all three of them. Because remember, Heavenly and Simone used to be cool, and they had their whole fight. This was like years ago. They had a big old fight. And then Heavenly kept calling Toya stupid and dumb and all this other stuff. Also, Toya talked about it on Watch What Happened Live, how Heavenly was saying, oh, Eugene's going around saying that, Toya was the biggest mistake of his life. I don't believe Eugene said that. I don't believe Eugene said that. Either one of two things. Either Dr. Heavenly is lying because she is a liar, and I don't put it past her to lie, or he said something and someone misconstrued it or contorted it, and now she's running with it. I don't believe Eugene would say that about Toya. What Toya said, I agree with. That's not how Eugene speaks. And B, it sounds more like something Dr. Heavenly would say. Like, it sounds more like Dr. Heavenly, to me, would be more of a person to say, oh, marrying her was the worst mistake of his life. I don't see Eugene saying that, if that makes sense. But I think the three of them became friends when they had a common enemy. Because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And that's why all three of them are friends now. Because remember, Simone also used to be close with Dr. Heavenly. Very close. And then they had their big falling out when Heavenly did the same thing that she did to Contessa. She got up on Twitter and was tweeting out about Simone's husband, talking about when is Cecil going to get a job, all this other stuff, blah, 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 blah. Basically putting his financial status and like his job status on blast and all this stuff when Simone and Cecil were getting back on track with their marriage. And then that's when Simone and Dr. Heavenly had their big, big falling out. You guys remember that? That huge falling out. And now we see the same exact thing happening with Contessa. So if you have all of these women and the common denominator of all of the fallouts is Dr. Heavenly, then we all know the problem is Dr. Heavenly. So the three of them got together because they have a common enemy. Because if you think about it, Heavenly used to be friends with all of them, and now she's friends with none of them in any real way. Hey, Sharon Sunny T, right, when they get buddy. Yep. Hey, Sunny T, but Eugene should be angry with Toya for trying to keep up with the Joneses. There is nothing wrong with the home they first had. I agree with that. Listen, I agree. Like, I don't know what their exact financial situation is. I know what they're saying out in the blogs. I know what it looks like. Who knows? I know they did have their financial troubles and then they got out of it and all of this stuff. And who knows with the moving. I totally get that. But I think Eugene having an issue with Toya that should be like an inside the house conversation. It shouldn't be something that your friends make fun of you for and put you down for. That's my point. If Eugene, like hypothetically, let's say you're right, Toya wanted to keep up with the Joneses. They didn't have enough money for everything they're trying to do and have, but she just wants to keep up appearances. She wants this, that, and the third, right? That's in their marriage. That's in between them. That's a Eugene and Toya conversation. It's not for your so-called friends when they see you having to like move and do this, that, and the third to make fun of you for it. In those moments, you want your friends to support you. You know what I'm saying? And I get they're on a reality show, but there was no need for what Anila and Kieran did. There was no need and there was no excuse for that. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine, say like you and your partner, or you and your husband, or you and your boyfriend, or you and your girlfriend, whatever, whose ever decision it was, you guys decided together, got into a financial jam. Sure, the two of you might squabble about it, but do you want your friends disrespecting you like that? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Hey, Sharon, yes, she's married to a doctor. Audra still can go. Audra can go, and Anila can go. They both can keep it packing. Sunny T, Toya keeps them in debt. Oh, damn, Sunny. Remember Eugene had to work extra hours to pay off debts? Now they're getting in more debt. I know. I'm trying, Sunny, I'm trying. Hey, Darren, he goes, I remembered that. Yup, exactly. So, yeah. So who else is going on? So I'm loving sexy Dr. Jackie. That's right. But again, just a fun kiki. I don't think she's getting sexy for her husband. I think, and I've said this before, and let me know what you guys think. Comment and let me know if you agree. I think Dr. Jackie and her husband, I forget what his name is. What is his name? Anyway, him. I think they're at a point in their life where they're like, we're comfortable. We have this huge house. We're on the show. Let's just ride this out. Do I think that they are living as a blissful married couple? No. Are they a married couple? Sure. But I kind of think they're at the point where he does him and she does her. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I think behind the scenes, she has a wing of the house and he has a wing of the house. What you do is what you do. What I do is what I do. Just don't be sloppy out here in these streets and don't embarrass me. Don't have anybody with any receipts, any photos, any phone messages, any records. Like, you do what you have to do, but don't embarrass me in the street anymore. Because when he was caught cheating before, do we think that was the first time? Probably not. Because usually when you get caught, you don't get caught the first time. You get caught because you got sloppy because you didn't get caught before. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I kind of think. But I'm living for Dr. Jackie. I hope she does have, someone on the side that floats her boat and gets her off and whatever. Curtis! Thank you, Darren. Thank you, my candy cane. That's right, Curtis. I think they're friends. I think they've gotten to a point where they're just like, brother, sister, friends situation. Now, Dr. Simone. Hey, Sunny, Dr. Jackie got it going on, and Curtis is riding the waves. LOL. Exactly. And I think Dr. Jackie at this point, I agree with you, Sunny. I think it's cheaper to keep him. Like, she probably doesn't want to have to give up 50% of her stuff. It's probably easier to give him his little stipend that he gets every month than to go through the full-fledged divorce, especially because they don't have children and like, they're probably just like, whatever at this point. Now, Dr. Simone, I love me some Dr. Simone. She did start the mess at the table. She popped it off. She definitely popped it off. I'm not mad at her because it's like we said, all of a sudden, Contessa and Simone and Toya are friends because they have that common enemy, Dr. Heavenly. And as quiet as it kept, Dr. Simone is probably still feeling some type of way about Dr. Heavenly, because Dr. Heavenly did to her, like I said before, with her husband Cecil, exactly what she did to Dr. Contessa and her husband Scott. So Dr. Simone probably is reveling in this, and it's just like, well, you know what? Let's just give you all of this smoke. And Dr. Heavenly does not want Contessa smoke. She was like shaking when Contessa got up. Listen, Contessa could look at me hard and I would crumble. I wouldn't want Dr. Contessa to smoke either. She could look at me and I'd be like, okay, I give up, you win. Clonk. You know what I mean? Yes, Sunny, yes. I did notice. Sunny goes, did y'all notice the other customers recording them? I know the little tourists were, they were so funny. They had their phones. They're like, ooh, ooh, ooh. I mean, maybe they thought it was a movie. Maybe they thought it was, I don't know. But it was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. Did y'all see Carrie just eating her food like nothing was going on? She was like, I don't care. This omelet's delicious. She just sat there eating. Toya sat there eating her baking and chilling, and I was living for them. I was like, yes, that was the correct thing to do. Continue on. Enjoy your breakfast. Get your breakfast burrito in. Drink your coffee. Get your mimosas, and like sit back and enjoy the show. Just sit back and enjoy the show because again, Dr. Heavenly only, and I mean only popped off to deflect because she is so scared that Contessa is going to say something about her marriage. Because remember, Contessa said, I know her secrets and I still haven't said anything. Or that the other ladies is going to bring something up. So she's like, I'm going to scream louder and I'm going to scream faster so nobody else can say anything about my marriage first. We're on to you, Dr. Heavenly. We're on to you. And Dr. Simone, I'm living for her. I think she's giving it in the confessional. She's correct in the confessionals. You know, it's not a matter of what I say about myself, but you're supposed to be my friend. How dare you go out there and say that about me? Now, what do we think about Simone and Cecil? Do we think they're still getting it in? Or do we think that they are do we think they're still an actual couple? Or do we think that they're kind of like a Dr. Jackie and Curtis? But I think that this is the thing. This is the difference, I think, between Dr. Simone and Cecil and Dr. Jackie and Curtis. So Dr. Jackie and Curtis, I think they're like two ships in the night. I think they're like, you get the left wing, I get the right wing. See you when I see you. We have to film at this point. You can pop in or pop out whenever you want. Do you, boo-boo, I'll do me. Whereas I think Dr. Simone and Cecil are still friends. Like I think they still have fun. I still think they go out to dinner. I still think they go on dates. I still think they laugh. They probably still hook up and everything. But do I think they might be fronting just a scotch to sell the books that they're coming out with? Yeah, I do. I think they might be fronting just a little bit to make sure that this joint book that they're writing is going to sell some copies and is going to put them on the bestsellers list. So we better make this look kumbaya. We better make this look happy families so we can get that paper when we sell these books. So do I think I don't think they're fighting so much behind the scenes, but do I think that they are monogamous? I don't know. I don't know. Hey, Sunny, I don't know if someone would agree to that type of marriage. True. That is true. Dr. Simone does seem a little bit more invested than Dr. Jackie. Dr. Jackie to me is just very disconnected in general, and she can put everything into different compartments. I don't know, but I do think Dr. Simone and and Cecil still enjoy each other. You know what I mean? I think they still enjoy each other. They still hang out and they still laugh and they still kiki. They probably still get it in. But is it what they're saying? I don't know. Maybe it is. I hope it is. But a good reason to make sure it looks like it is to sell those books. Hey, Sunny T, I don't think they're in love, but they are trying to make it work. Exactly. Like they're not in that like passionate love, but they're good friends. And they have these children, and now they have this book, and they have this business. And it kind of goes into what I was saying before. Like it's more economical to stay together than it is to break up. At least like in that beginning stage. And I think they're like, if we made it this long, we might as well just keep writing it. And if sometimes you do you and sometimes I do me, then it is what it is. Sunny T says, I agree. Yes. Okay, you guys. Who else can we talk about? What else is happening? We talked about Sexy Jackie, Dr. Heavenly, Audra, Anila can go. All right, so Contessa. Do we like Contessa? Like, what are our thoughts on her? Like, sometimes I like Contessa, but sometimes she's just very, like, a wound up ball. Do you know what I mean? She's very tightly wound. And I get that she's hurt with Dr. Heavenly. And I get that she's trying to make it work with her husband and she's doing the bodybuilder thing and all of that stuff. But I'm on the fence of how I like feel about exactly. Exactly. Exactly, Sunny. Nope. That's I was like, because I was a contestant. I was like, how do I actually feel about her? You know what I mean? I was like, how do I actually feel about Contessa? I'm not exactly sure how I feel about her, right? Like I guess with Contessa, I could take her or leave her. I'll put it this way. I will take her as long as she is going head to head with Dr. Heavenly. Like I am here for her spearheading the Dr. Heavenly takedown. Like that I am here for. So as long as she's in for that, bring me the Dr. Contessa all day long. All day long. Do I think her reconciliation with her husband is all happy families? No, but I do think that they're trying to work it out. But again, I do think there's something financial going on. Because remember a couple episodes ago when Contessa was talking about how she reconciled with her husband, it was right when they were supposed to sign the papers to start the process of selling their house, right? And right when he was supposed to sign the papers, he was like, nah, baby, I love you, girl. I miss you, girl. Let's make this work. No, I love you. And I'm kind of like, what changed your mind from being out here texting and DMing other chicks and maybe dating somebody on the side, having some life coach, which was like the code name for his mistress, talking about I'm out of here and I can't believe you're going to school, and just being a big grumpster and being really disrespectful towards her and all of the verbal and emotional stuff going on. What flipped from that Scott to the baby, let's go to therapy, let's make this work, I love you, Scott? Right when they were about to sell their house, what's going on there? Because sometimes, like I'm saying, these people stay in marriages because of that weird quote. They say it's cheaper to keep her, which is sexist. But essentially the essence of it is I would rather just stay stuck in this marriage than have to sacrifice some type of money in this moment, which you can always make more money. Money always comes to me. Money always comes and flows. So money will always come back. So I don't know why people do that. You know what I mean? But I feel like there's some type of financial hook there. Maybe I'm being cynical, but I love a conspiracy and I don't believe in coincidence. I just don't believe that the moment he was supposed to sign the papers to sell the house and some other stuff, all of a sudden he had a change of heart because he remembered that he was in love with his wife. Are you staying in the marriage until you can do some behind the scenes, putting different things in names and switching account holders and making sure you get certain percentages and your names on certain deeds on certain accounts? I don't know. All I know is, Contessa, you better watch your back, because it's like 3-day-old fish. Something doesn't smell right. It doesn't smell right. People can put on their mask and smile and play happy families when behind the scenes they're getting their ducks in a row for when the real exit happens. I don't know if I'm being cynical, but I would be concerned about that. Like, why do you have a change of heart right when we have to sign these papers? So I would watch out. There's something ain't clean. Exactly, Donna D. Dr. Scott is acting extra nice this season. Exactly. And when people go from one extreme to the other without a clear come to Jesus moment, and by come to Jesus moment, I mean like, I don't, you know what I mean? Something a little bit more authentic. I squint. I'm like, something's not right. I agree, Donna D. He's being extra nice. I think he's being extra nice for a couple of reasons. One, I think he's worried that the narrative of him being abusive and mean and all of this stuff might affect his practice. He is a doctor. He's a professional. He has a job, and your reputation matters, and people calling you this, that, and the third matters. So he probably definitely wants to clean up his image, clean up his reputation, so his job and his livelihood and his future prospects don't be affected by it. So I think that's one thing for sure. And the second is exactly what we were just saying. You know what I mean? Like, what is he doing behind the scenes to set himself up to be in a better position if and when they actually do get divorced? Hey, Darren Hood. Toya was hilarious last night. She was giving me candy vibes with the food. Yes, yes. Toya was hilarious last night. She really was. She was fun to watch. And this is the thing. I always like Toya. I know that sometimes Toya gets a bad rap. Okay, there are a couple of there's a couple of things about Toya where I kind of squint, but overall, like I like Toya. You know what I mean? I don't get the like. Sometimes people give her a bad rap and all this other stuff, but overall, I kind of like Toya. I think the people who beef with Toya, and I mean on the show, Dr. Heavenly, I think, is jealous of Toya the way she was jealous of Mariah. I think Dr. Heavenly is very, very jealous of any woman that she deems looks like her in a bit, but is so much prettier. You know, like we see now how Dr. Heavenly is trying to morph into Mariah 2.0, but she can't. She can't hold a candle to Mariah. And the same way that she kind of is really jealous of Toya, why she's always calling Toya stupid and dumb. And Toya is not stupid. Toya is not dumb. Like, let's all just be 100% real. Human beings sometimes make bad financial choices and get into situations. Again, it's happening again and again. I get it. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think Toya's a bad person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think she's bad. I just think she might have some issues to work through when it comes to self-worth and self-esteem and looks and things. She might tie self-worth to cars and houses and this and that, but that's something she needs to go to therapy and work through. I don't think Toya is a bad person, but Dr. Heavenly, I think, is evil as hell. And I wouldn't even want to be in the same room as her. Her energy scares me so much. I know you guys think she's funny and all that. I wouldn't want to be in the same room as Dr. Heavenly because her energy is that dark to me. Hey, Donna D, Toya is too disrespectful to Dr. Eugene. No one should treat their husband that way. Toya treats Dr. Eugene. Girl. But Dr. Heavenly also disrespects her husband. She gaslights us. And I know I don't want to just bash Dr. Heavenly all day, but it's too easy. She makes it too easy. Dr. Heavenly gaslights us. She gaslights us by saying, oh, no, you have to submit to your husband. Oh, no, you have to exalt him. Oh, I never say anything bad about Dr. Daddy. Oh, no, everything is perfect, right? So she says that. Oh, I'm so traditional. She says that. So we're gaslit into thinking that she's super respectful to Dr. Damon Daddy. But then she's actually hella disrespectful to him. She cuts him off when he's talking. She doesn't let him have an opinion. She says who he's allowed to be friends with, who he's allowed to talk to, what he's allowed to do, all this, that, and in the third. You know what I mean? Like, she is actually hella disrespectful to him, but she does it in a very covert, emasculating way. Where Donna D, I see what you're saying, where Toya is disrespectful towards Dr. Eugene, it comes across as harsher and it comes across as more in your face with some of the things that she says that are emasculating. And honestly, with Dr. Eugene, how he's saying to her, and I'm almost like, Toya, like, listen to your husband. It hurt my heart. The one scene, it wasn't this episode, it was a couple episodes ago, where he was like, I feel like I'm walking in mud. And that to me is something someone says when they are depressed, when they're not feeling their best, when they're feeling low, when they're just unsure about themselves, when they're feeling lost. He's like, I feel like I'm walking through mud. And he's like, I want to come home and I want to be able to rest. I want to be able to reset. And he's unable to do that because I don't want to call Toya a nagging wife because I don't want to be sexist or anything. But when you come home and the moment you hear is Eugene, and then he said at this episode, Eugene, and she's yelling at the kid, she's yelling at him, and there's like, you do this, I need you to do that, blah, blah, blah. There's no rest. Like, that's a lot. That is a lot of stress. That is a lot to carry. So I agree with you. I do feel bad for Dr. Eugene. I think he needs a break. I think he needs a switch. I think Toya needs to listen to him. Because if your partner is continuously telling you, I need a break. I feel like I'm walking through mud. I'm stressed out. I don't feel like myself. I don't feel good. When I come home, I need to reset because every day I'm surrounded by people yelling and by people dying and by sickness and by stress. The last thing I want to do is when I get home is to be still stressed out. She needs to listen to that because that could lead to heart attacks, stroke, cancer, the S word, depression, all of that. Like, I agree. She needs to really, truly listen to what he is saying from the perspective of how can I support my spouse, rather than how sometimes I think she listens to him is from the place of this is what I need from you. And those are two very different places energetically. I'm listening to you because I'm coming from a place of how can I support you? How can I hold space for you? That's what you need from your partner. But with Toya, it's this is what I need from you, Eugene. This is what I need you to do. This is what I'm lacking. This is what I need. This is what I want. You see what I'm saying? Hey, Donna D. She goes, Toya doesn't treat service employees too kindly either. Oof, I don't like that. I don't like that. I think you need to, I don't like that. I really believe in the adage, you treat the janitor the way you treat the CEO. You treat everybody equally. You treat everybody with kindness. You treat everybody with respect. I don't care who you think they are or who you think they're not. Every human being deserves respect. Did you see the way she was talking to the waitress about getting her some bacon? Yeah, Toya's rude. She's rude. That was rude as hell. Rude as hell. Hey, Donna D. Dr. Eugene was so happy to have a little peace and quiet while Toya was gone. I know. He was like, come on, boys. There he was like, jump in the pool, boys. Come on, boys. Do a flip, boys. Come on, boys. Do you, boys. I know. He was so happy. This is the thing. I'm like, I think Toya and Eugene truly love each other. But I think they could use some therapy when it comes to communication and listening and all of that stuff. Because I mean, I agree. I think Toya is disrespectful to Eugene, and I think Heavenly is disrespectful to Dr. Damon. I think they're doing the same thing. They're both emasculating their husbands, but their approach is different. Dr. Heavenly's is covert. It's almost like she's gaslighting us, like we don't even see it. And Toya is overt, the loud, in your face, aggressive disrespect. Let's see what you guys are saying. Hey, Donna D. Toya was describing all kinds of sexual situations in the last episode she has been involved in that did not involve Dr. Eugene. Yeah, that's true. But to play devil's advocate for Toya, only in this situation, because I do agree with you. I do believe that she could be more respectful to her husband. I think she could honor the situation more when it comes to their finances, when it comes to his mental health, when it comes to a lot of things. So I agree with you. But I think that the girls were playing a game. They were playing a sex game. And I was like, never have I ever. And some of the more risque stuff, should be with your spouse. You would think if you've been together that long. But I can kind of get it how maybe like you had one wild college night, or you had a spring break where you went and did something cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs with a guy or something, So the more outlandish ones that they're talking about could be with another person. So I'll give her a little bit of grace for that one. Hey, Santi, yes, that's Donna D. Total disrespect for her marriage. Yeah. Yeah. So who knows? But you guys, we've been on here for a while now. So if you're having a fun kiki, which I am, I'm having so much fun with my beautiful, lovely candy canes. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, like this video, and comment below, and share this with a friend, because a kiki is always better with community. So what do you think is going to happen on the next episode? I'm interested in that. Don't forget, Candy Canes, you have your homework. The next episode, that scene, is with Dr. Heavenly, Contessa, and Quad. Watch Dr. Heavenly's eyes after Quad says, and Quad's like genuinely breaking down and crying. No crocodile tears from Quad this time. Quad's actually serious. When she's crying and she's like, Heavenly, you have to start thinking about what your words say, how affect people. Watch Dr. Heavenly's eyes when she's fake crying and she gives Quad this look. Watch her eyes. And that's going to tell you everything you need to know about Dr. Heavenly. She's a liar. She's evil. She's mean. She's a fraud. And she likes hurting people. Watch the look she gives, because the eyes are the window to the soul. And we are going to come back and we're going to kiki about it. And we're going to talk about it. Because I'm telling you guys, Dr. Heavenly is evil. Watch the look she gives. Watch her eyes. I'm telling you. Oh, Sunny T says, bye, Candy of the Candy Canes. Bye, sweetheart. Thank you for coming through. Hey, Donna D. I guess if Toya hadn't talked about Dr. Eugene's package, her discussion about her other sexual escapades wouldn't be so bad. Wait, did she say something about his package and I missed it? What did she say? I must have missed that. What did she say about his package? If she said anything disrespectful about Dr. Eugene's package, Toya, I've been trying, I've been trying to have your back in this recap, okay, Toya? I've been playing devil's advocate. I've been trying, Toya. But if you said anything disrespectful about Dr. Eugene's package, that's dead ass wrong. That's one thing you don't do is you never put down your husband's package, and husbands, you never put down your wife's looks ever. Hey, Vodka, what's up, sweetheart? Hey, how are you? So yeah, let me know what she said about Dr. Eugene's package. I have to go back and rewatch that. I must have missed it. I was probably going to get some food. I love eating. I love food. So I was probably going to get some food or something and I missed it. But if she said anything gnarly about his package, Donna D says she said several times about how his package not growing a set. No. Toya, this whole recap, I've been trying to have your back. But now, I mean, girl, Toya, let me tell you, there's nothing more disrespectful that you can say to your partner is that their package is small, it's not growing, it doesn't move the way you want it to move, it doesn't do what you want it to do, or to say to your partner, your breasts aren't like this, your butt's not like this, your lady thing isn't like this, or whatever, right? It is just so disrespectful to, like, on a core level to say that about your partner. The fact that she said that, I can't. Donna D said, even the ladies looked at her with shock when she said it. Like, no one else remembers this? Wow. Baka says, is he losing weight, but it's still missing in action? Wow. He is losing weight, but it's still missing in action. How did I miss that? I must have been getting food. I must have been feeding the face. I must have been getting food. Wow. Thank you for letting me. Candy canes. Thank you. I love you, candy canes. When I don't know, you guys come through. You come through. So thank you for letting me know. Toya, now Toya, I can't defend that. There's no defense. Toya, you were dead ass wrong. Dead ass wrong. Now you know what? For saying that about Eugene, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. But wow, Toya, wow. I mean, that's low. That's really, really low. Mako says, LOL. I know, I'm speechless, right? I'm speechless. Poor Eugene, I know. And Eugene, when I tell you Eugene is a good man, Eugene is a good man. And I don't want to hear the crap where people like, well, people, like, we shouldn't give men praise for just doing what they should do. We shouldn't give men praise just for being men. No, bump that. I'm praising Eugene. I'm giving him his flowers. Eugene is a good man. He busts his butt. Seems like he is an attentive father. He's there. He does everything that Toya wants. He bends over backwards. He provides above and beyond. Yeah, they get into their situations, but it seems like it's more like they get into situations because he's trying to please Toya, not so much because it's his financial misdeeds. I mean, honestly, maybe Eugene needs to go to therapy for his self-esteem and for self-worth so he can assert himself and be like, and tell her no. If it's making your family be in turmoil, and by turmoil, I mean, the upheaval of this, that, and the third, and everything else, he needs to maybe get some therapy so he can work on asserting himself. He had asserted himself when it came to Kieran, which he should have, because Kieran was dead as wrong. Even though Toya was dead as wrong talking about Eugene's package, nothing and no one will ever make me think that what Kieran and Anila did was funny. It wasn't. It was malicious and it was mean-spirited. I don't think there was anything funny about it. Hey, Donna D. Remember Toya complained about Dr. Eugene's masturbating too much. Remember Dr. Eugene had to inject himself with hormones to increase his testosterone. Yes, like I remember that. I remember the testosterone. Wow. Wow. I remember that. Who knows? Who knows? That was dead wrong, Toya. Toya, you were dead ass wrong. You were dead wrong for that. Woo. All right, you guys. This has been such a fun Kiki. We did it. So if you love these fun Kikis where you can just come, let your hair down, hang out, and laugh and chill, then be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share with a friend, because a Kiki with candy, I like that, a Kiki with candy is always better with community. So thank you, my beautiful candy canes, for joining me. Thank you, Vaka. Thank you, Donna D. Thank you, Sunny. Thank you, everybody who chimed in. Thank you, Sharon, both Sharons. Thank you, guys. If I didn't say your name, thank you, Darren. Thank you, Darren Hood. I love you so much. So yeah, thank you, everybody. Until next time. Oh, wait. One more thing. Donna D says, I was surprised the men didn't support Dr. Eugene more when Karen kept doubling down on the trick they played on them was funny. I agree. I was disappointed in the men. I agree. I was disappointed in them. To me, they felt it was very cowardly. It was very cowardly of the men not to double down and really be on Eugene's side, especially when Karen is pretty much an outsider and he's boring and he's weird and they've known Eugene for years. Regardless of how you feel about Toya, like hold your boy down. You know what I mean? Like be there for your boy. That was Eugene's whole point. The women do what they do, but we don't get but we don't let that affect us. And Karen did cross the line, because as much as what they're moving did I think was dead wrong, the costume, it would have been one thing if only Anila did it. Then that would have kept it between the girls. But the fact that Karen did it with his wife, that was shots fired, 100%. Hey, Donna G, have a good day. You too, sweetheart. Love you. Yay! Okay, my beautiful candy cans. We're going to get out of here. But until next time, everybody, you already know the drill. Take care of yourself and each other. I love you so much. And I will see you guys next time. Don't forget, you can also join our community. There's the Candy Cane community. Just click the links below and you can join our community. And also check out the description box, because there is always so many goodies there. We have merchandise, we have books, we have podcasts, we have movies, we have a newsletter, we have free goodies. We have all of the great stuff. So be sure to check out everything below in the description box. And I love you guys so, so, so much. Sharon! Yes, have a good evening. You too, sweetheart. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for coming through. I love you. So you know the drill. Take care of yourself and each other. Until next time, mwah, be well. I love you, my beauties. Bye.
Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor, and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and join the conversation on Instagram @Candy Washington. Let's go.